Hello and welcome. On behalf of the City of Plano, I want to thank you for participating in the design process for Glen Meadows Park. This is Andrew Duggan, a landscape architect with Studio Outside here in Dallas. This is the second presentation in a series regarding the future of this neighborhood park and builds on the commentary we received in August of 2020. First, a brief recap of the design schedule for this project. In August 2020, we hosted an online presentation regarding future program and amenities to be considered in the new park design. This presentation covers preliminary design concepts. Our team will be putting together construction plans in 2021 with the hope of starting construction next summer. When considering a planning of park amenities, it is important that we continue to consider a whole systems approach to consideration of public spaces. Great parks are built on a foundation of community input and staff commentary that also responds to existing conditions and the natural systems of the site itself. People visit parks for a variety of experiences, and if the balance of these factors is compromised, it will erode the site's ability to function as a welcoming destination for the community. Parks must be enjoyable and fun. They should also be durable and affordable to maintain so that they can serve as a neighborhood destination for years to come. First, a quick review of existing conditions at Glen Meadows Park. The site is across the creek from Barksdale Elementary. There is an existing trail system, a playground, a pavilion with one picnic table, and several other picnic tables scattered amongst the trees. There's an open lawn and a number of significant trees both at the creek and surrounding the lawn. Entry points welcome visitors from all corners of the park, including the school site and the Towns of Chapel Hill apartment community. A secondary element of our assessment process considers the various experiences that differ across the park. Just like rooms of a house, the park has spaces that function and feel differently. Some of these rooms are destinations themselves, while others create the broader experience or setting that activities can take place within. The tree grove is characterized by a number of broad canopy trees on the east end of the park that surround the playground. The activity green includes the playground and the open lawn that is the primary space of the park itself. Wooded slopes that include the pavilion. This is the shaded area that drops in grade down towards the creek. The bridge traverses the creek corridor and affords views down into the natural landscape. There are multiple entry points from the neighborhood and the Towns of Chapel Hill apartments. In addition to public input regarding desired programming, the planning team also considers the array of existing conditions that affect the redesign of the park. These include the existing tree canopy, the creek, the slope, drainage, and other factors. When overlaying these natural systems, the diagram reveals areas that certain areas are more or less sensitive to different types of development. Generally speaking, the darker areas on this site depict the combination of steeper slope, larger trees, and concentrated drainage patterns, while the lighter tones depict areas that have been previously impacted by development, namely the open lawn, existing playground, and parking areas. This does not necessarily mean to build or don't build in a certain area, but it does remind us to be sensitive to how we build things so as to not fight the natural patterns of the site. The plan takes these patterns into account when considering trail routes and also larger construction activities that would impact natural systems and the existing trees. The public input we received was very helpful to consider the right array of park activities to contemplate for this site. An online presentation and survey was available for 2 weeks back in August, and we collected over 180 responses. Many comments reinforced the need for shade and tree preservation in the new design, as well as supporting for upgrading the playground to appeal to a broader age group. Lighting and maintenance were also mentioned several times. Several comments mentioned concerns about maintenance and wildlife along the creek. These comments have been shared with other city departments that manage the waterways of the city of Plano. We received a variety of other comments about trails and landscaping that the plan will address. Some people really like Glen Meadows Park as it is today and suggested preserving the overall general character of this neighborhood destination. The trail, for sure, is a high priority, as well as keeping shade, expanding the playground, and other attributes of this park. Building on the public comments, we have worked with city staff to refine the program of Glen Meadows to reshape the park while enhancing the visitor experience. Proposed park elements seek to enhance the trail system, increase lighting, provide a new playground that is updated and serves a broader range of ages, and build a new shade pavilion, all while preserving the open lawn and tree canopy of the site. As a point of clarification, there were a good number of comments regarding erosion and exposed soil under some of the existing trees. This occurs in areas where trees have grown and shaded out the original turf that was planted underneath them. We aim to replace these areas with a shade-tolerant turf or a mulch bed to curtail soil washout. There were also several other suggestions for park activities that are outside of the criteria of amenities suitable for a neighborhood park, namely a splash pad, restrooms, tennis, basketball courts, and a few other things. While being important to consider, these elements are not best suited for the scale and context of this particular park. Parking requirements and the scale of these items just do not work well here, but the city will hold those comments for reference while considering larger park sites in the city in the future. Regarding the comments on basketball, there is an existing full-court basketball court within walking distance across the creek over at Barksdale Elementary School. There are also 2 additional courts within a 1-mile radius of this site. Additional sport practice fields are also within a 1-mile radius. Parks in the city work together as a system, and Glen Meadows provides an appropriately scaled experience for this area of the community that can be balanced against other parks elsewhere in the system to provide other types of experiences. The array of commentary received is very helpful to ensure that we develop a plan that responds to the interests of the surrounding community as much as possible. We have taken all of this under advisement in the development of the proposed park program and have attempted to build on as many suggestions as are feasible. After merging the public comments regarding program with the influences of the natural systems, the planning team has worked with city staff to prepare this preliminary park concept for Glen Meadows Park. The concept plan suggests a revised loop trail system that connects all entrances to the park and surrounds a broad play lawn. The lawn is about the same size as it is today and suitable for kids running around, playing pitch and catch, or tossing around a football. It is not big enough to host practice events or any type of organized team sports. Preservation of this lawn space was a primary, consistent comment in the public input. The 2 gates from the Towns of Chapel Hill apartments are preserved as entry points, and a new pavilion and playground round out the primary program destinations. Trails were the main priority within the feedback we received, and with good reason. Walking, jogging, and dog walking are some of the most popular outdoor activities. The main trail loop creates the primary circulation route and welcomes visitors from each entry. Seating opportunities will provide shady rest spots for observing play on the lawn or other activities. We are proposing to regrade the entrance through the trees on the north side, Glen Oaks Drive, to better allow non-erosive slopes and allow for some seating there under the trees. The main loop trail of the ellipse around the lawn is about 1/8 of a mile around, so 8 laps make a 1-mile walk. The lawn was equally popular in the public commentary, and the Glen Meadows site offers a great open space, partially surrounded by an array of existing trees. The new design simplifies the form into an ellipse and better organizes entry points so that all have an address on the main loop. The bridge remains in its current location and is not being replaced at this time. The combination destination of playground and pavilion will overlook the lawn from the edge of the existing tree canopy and will create a highly visible destination when viewed on the long axis of the elliptical lawn. They are planned to work together as an integrated unit whereby the pavilion will overlook the playground. The pavilion is envisioned to hold 2 to 4 picnic tables, so it will be slightly larger than the one that exists today. The playground and pavilion are nestled into the edge of the trees with the intention of throwing some shade on the playground from the afternoon sun. New play equipment will include swings for infants and older kids or adults. While the final play equipment is still under consideration, it should appeal to a broad range of kids and may include slides and other climbing and social elements. These photos depict the range of play equipment under consideration, with budget and other factors being part of the decision matrix to see how we can maximize the funds available while providing an exceptional play experience for a neighborhood-scale park. Final play elements are still being confirmed, but we seek a dynamic play environment that appeals to a variety of ages, including both toddlers and kids. There are several different kinds of play elements that we would like to better understand the community's interest in as we look to encourage a variety of age groups to enjoy the playground. Please consider these elements, and the online survey will also ask about your preferences regarding these play structures. These may include some type of climbing experience, swings of several types, including the traditional strap swing, chair style, and bucket style seats for toddlers, slides, a variety of different types of rope climbers, and the individual standalone spinner elements. Again, these are listed on the survey, as well as a write-in option for additional comments. We acknowledge that shade and trees are critical for park success. One of the most cited priorities in the public input we received was indeed tree preservation and the addition of more shade. In addition to the new pavilion, we seek to preserve as many trees as possible and also consider filling in a few disturbed areas with a few new trees. Seating will be provided in the shady areas. Lighting was also a high objective in the public comments. We are considering at least a 50% increase in the number of light fixtures. However, the final light calculations are still being developed. We will be sure to avoid overspill of light onto adjacent residential properties. New poles will be consistent with others in recent park projects for the City of Plano. Finally, areas where trees have shaded out the existing lawn will be addressed either with a shade-tolerant turf such as zoysia, or will be converted to mulch beds to help retain soil and minimize washout erosion under the trees. Ultimately, we feel that this design is a great update to Glen Meadows Park that directly responds to a host of very constructive commentary provided by the public. The loop trail and concentration of destinations near the shade trees preserves the broad activity lawn and maintains the neighborhood character of this great open space amenity. Pending continued public response to this presentation and refinement of budget, the next design update will show final pavilion and playground designs. Our hope is to finish documentation in the spring of 2021 in an effort to bid and start construction later in the summer of next year. We welcome your input on this design progress update. Please follow the link on the city's website to provide commentary on this design concept of things you may like or have concerns about. We appreciate your participation and interest in the future of Glen Meadows Park. Thank you.